Good morning, traders. Welcome to the live trading room. Well, not so live because this is a recorded session. The time now is 7:20 a.m. GMT. We are starting about 40 minutes earlier because there may be a disruption in power at our usual scheduled time for the live trading room. So better we do it a bit earlier. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at now the US dollar pairs. If you look at the market now, between now and yesterday, there has not been much that has changed. So the DXY is still exactly where it was yesterday. So the forecast is still, as we have it yesterday, the two possibilities, whether we get one more down before we push to the upside on the DXY. So the two possibilities, whether we get one more down here, and then we make a push to the upside before we continue to the downside, then that would have made a flat correction here. Or we can actually just have made a three-wave up here, a three-wave down here, and we're going to get another three waves to the upside here before we make a move to the downside. So that has not changed from yesterday. Like most pairs are still exactly where they were yesterday, similar to Euro US dollar. The expectation is still the same. Whether are we going to get a bounce? Does not look like we're going to get a bounce. But even if we do get a bounce, we'll expect the same structure as the DXY, which would have been three waves down, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 up, or downside. So if we are not getting this as a flat, then we get, just like with the DXY, we get this as three waves down, three waves up, and three waves to the downside as follows. Either way, we make a move to the upside. All right, so that is gold and the DXY. Pound US dollar also still exactly where we were yesterday. We're expecting it to come and push down into the blue box here and then make a move to the upside based on this structure. So we'll look for this one to push to the upside. US dollar chief, obviously similar to the DXY. Will this one push to the upside and come here and make a flat correction around this area? That is still the expectation. So that means Euro will push to the downside, DXY and US dollar chief will push slightly to the upside. Let's just remove all of this. This does not doing anything anymore. All right, so that is what we'll look at on US dollar chief. Nothing has changed. US dollar CAD, that bounce is starting to make sense here now. As I've said with US dollar CAD, we will only start buying when the daily RSI starts trading above 50. Okay, we have just slightly pushed above 50 as far as the RSI is concerned. So we will look for this one to start pushing up higher. If we push up higher here, then we start getting a correction. Then that trend to the upside would have started and we start looking for those upsides. That is US dollar CAD. Let's go back to the 4 hour. Now, as you can see here, even Audi US dollar, do not go and rush this just because you know the direction. We are looking for this to continue to the downside. So this one will correct here. There may be a setup on the 1 hour. Let's have a look at it. Let's see what the 1 hour is giving us there. So all these small corrections on the 4 hour, they actually look pretty decent on the 1 hour. As you can see here, with Audi US dollar has made a clear three-wave structure here. We're going to get this one confirming for downside. So that is why we're expecting a downside. Not only this one, even US dollar CAD, even US dollar chief on the 1 hour, you can see we've had this pullback here showing us continuation to the upside. This may even do this here on the 1 hour. I've just gone back to US dollar chief and continue to the upside. Pound US dollar also making this 1 hour corrective structure. This is three waves, 1, 2, 3 here. We're going to look for this to the downside, but don't rush that before confirmation. Same thing with the Euro US dollar. You can see it's making a nice corrective structure here, nice flag for continuation to the downside. Looks too obvious, so this could still be overextended. You can do this here before dropping. This and that are showing us downside here on the indicator, same as the DXY. You can see all the 1 hour corrections are showing us direction and they've got a setup and are supported by the indicator as well. Lastly, on the US dollar pairs is New Zealand US dollar. As you can see, we are going to see that continuation to the downside, just like the rest of the US dollar pairs looking downside, where the US dollar is the quoted pair. Why are we looking for New Zealand to continue to the downside? We were looking at this to have reached the blue box here, but as far as this is concerned, we are still, the indicators telling us that we are not getting a reversal here. We are still going to get a bit of a push to the downside. Let's look at the yen pairs. Yen pairs, pound yen. Yesterday we looked at these to have made. This is pound yen. We looked at this corrective structure to be pushing to the upside as long as the RSI stays above here. But we are at the top here, so we don't have a setup here for upside as yet on pound yen. Let's have a look at the 1 hour and see if we're getting anything interesting. So the 1 hour either is not showing us upside here. So we are going to see this one come to the lower boundary here. So if there's going to be a move to the upside, we will see the confirmation on the 4 hour. But for now, we are not seeing that. It is still going to push down to the lower boundary. So we're still going to be that corrective structure for some time. US dollar yen has been pushing up correctively with this move here. Does not look like we're going to go upside. There's no strength here, and the indicator on the 1 hour is showing us downside. So we were here, we are still above 50, but this looks like it's going to come to the downside. But let's look at the 4 hour and see what we're getting here, if there's any clarity on the 4 hour. The 4 hour looks like it's going to give us a setup for downside here. We're already at the top here. We are looking downside here. So we'll look for this one to give us a 3-wave structure. Let's see how decent this corrective structure is going to be. When it confirms, then we'll look for downside. As it is now, you can't do anything on it. All right, so the euro, as much as we've made the 3-wave structure that we were looking for, that 3-wave structure does not look to be complete. We should see euro continue to the downside. So this is a corrective structure that is showing us continuation to the downside. If you look on the 1 hour, you will see that that flag is showing us continuation. This is a flag showing us continuation to the downside. This is a 3, this is a 3. We could get the euro doing that on the 1 hour and continue to the downside. So just keep an eye on that. The move to the upside does not look likely as yet. Chief, yesterday on the 4 hour, we looked for Chief to be making a complex flat here as follows. We already have these 3 waves here, but we have not done anything. As you can see, yesterday's analysis is still pretty much valid. Nothing new really this morning as yet. Okay, so we'll be looking at that and then continuation to the upside, but we must still continue to the downside here first. KDN, the pullback is also not over. We've made a move down. We've got a correction here. We should see this push a little bit lower before pushing to the upside. Okay, so we are going to be expecting CAD to continue lower as well. New Zealand yen. New Zealand yen, as we said yesterday, we're expecting this to come to this level. So that means any setup for downside on New Zealand yen, we take it looking at the bigger flat correction here. 1, 2, 3 down. 1, 2, 3 up. Now we're looking for this to make an impulse to the downside. Could make a running flat, an expanding flat, doesn't matter, but we'll be looking for this to come here before continuation to the upside. So any setup for downside here, we take it. We have confirmed that this channeled corrective structure is completed. It is not a diagonal, and this is going to come to the downside. Audi yen. Audi yen is similar, but this structure here is still a little bit messy. So we can get Audi yen doing that before continuing to the downside. But either way, we are looking for these 3 down here, 1, 2, 3, 3 up here, and we'll look for this to make another 3 down this side. Gold, the deeper correction is in play. Are we going to get a bounce at current levels? We've got to move down. We've got to move to the upside. Are we going to get this one bouncing up here and giving us a flat like that? Or is gold just going to push lower like this? Remember, we are bullish gold. So we did say yesterday that gold can go as far as the 50% of the whole move, that is at 1800, where we can look to buy again for more upside. So just watch this corrective structure. After the corrective structure, that's when we're going to be looking to buy at around 1800 before we push to the upside. 1800 is about 61% of the move. Right, so now we've got silver as well. Silver has made a 3-wave move to the downside as follows. But then the move that we expected to the upside did not go impulsively. It went in 3 waves, as you can see. That's why we are expecting that silver will continue to the downside as follows. and give us that deeper correction. Brent crude, nothing new there, no analysis. As I keep saying, you just look for any continuation pattern on the 1 hour or the 4 hour, then you keep buying Brent crude oil. Pound CAD. So pound CAD, we are still within the corrective structure. Yesterday we said that this could come and retest the low here, and that is still a likely possibility on pound CAD. We'll look for upside when that structure is done. Pound Audi. Pound Audi, the 3 waves here. Looks like a 3 waves here is making a correction here. We should still see this push a little bit higher. Same as New Zealand. Same as New Zealand. So this pullback on the New Zealand, we should see it continue to push to the upside. Pound Chief. So pound chief, that 3-wave structure that we're looking at here, is this now where we are ready for a move to the upside? Does not look likely, so I'm still expecting pound chief to continue lower as follows, to come and retest this low. Euro pound, we still want euro pound to come and take this low here. That's the low we want to see, take and bounce back up before continuation to the downside. Euro Audi. So that's Euro Audi. We are looking for this to bounce at least back to this level. We could even be looking at this as a flat, as a zigzag rather. There's a number of ways that are telling us that Euro Audi is going to push to the upside. So that is one. Also, another one is this expanding flat, looking for this to push to the upside. Another one is that this one comes and takes the out top here, makes one down before we actually push to the upside. But either way, they're all looking upside. Right, Euro New Zealand. Continuation to the upside. We'll see upside here. There's no trade set up on the 4 hour. Let's check on the 1 hour if we've got continuation to the upside. 1 hour is a textbook setup. So Euro New Zealand is about to close above this. So we'll look for Euro New Zealand to continue pushing to the upside. So on the 1 hour, this is a trade setup. So we are going to expect upside. We'll put a stop slightly below there, 68.78. Yeah, just like that. That's the trade setup. Look for that on Euro New Zealand, showing us upside there. Euro CAD, it's just been going sideways. So just looking at this candle, it looks like we're just going to come and retest this level here. But essentially, we're just looking at this sideways structure. Nothing much is happening. We could go and retest this and make this corrective structure here. Euro Chief. We're expecting a reaction at current levels. We're expecting a reaction at current levels on Euro Chief. That is the new blue box. Euro Audi New Zealand. We're going to the crosses now. Now, any continuation to the upside is a good opportunity to ride on Audi Audi New Zealand. You just need to be careful because it has already made such a big move to the upside, and soon we will be expecting a deeper correction. So here's another confirmation for another leg up higher. So as soon as this closes up above this, we'll expect this to make another leg higher before we get the deeper correction. Audi CAD, this is a corrective structure. There's no setup on the 1 hour. Let's check if we do have one on the 4. The 4 hour is showing us a setup. Although not the cleanest of structures, is an expanding flat there on Audi CAD. So we are going to look for this to continue to the upside here. Look for this 1 hour correction here. That will be the setup. Audi Chief, messy structure, not going to do anything there. New Zealand CAD, we're expecting a bounce here at current levels. We actually wanted it to come tag here and do this, but either way, even if it does not take the low here and just bounces from current levels, we'll still expect a similar structure like that. New Zealand Chief, a messy structure, just expect a reaction from current levels. That reaction could come and retest that level here, making this flat correction. CAD Chief, still in that corrective structure. So in the corrective structure here, we're looking for this to be a 1, 2, 3. Are we gonna make a bounce? Soon we should make a bounce on this here. We just need to see this one trading above 50 for a move to the upside. Let's look at the S&P 500, the indices. So the S&P 500 looks to be going above that level. So any corrective structure here means that this was all the correction here, and we're not going to get the one more down that we expected. So look out for those setups here around these levels. Dow Jones also, it looked like it was going to play out that structure for one more down, but with the S&P 500 rallying so high, it doesn't look like we're going to get that, and it looks like we would have had that as an expanding flat as well. Then we'll look for this one to be a continuation pattern. You look for those moves to the upside. NASDAQ, still playing that running flat as follows. We're expecting this to continue pushing to the upside. UK 100 has reached this level. So the structure was that we're going to expect UK 100 to reach that level, makes a pullback and then upside. But there's no sign of reversal as yet on that. The DAX continue to push up higher from this blue box here. Yesterday, we were seeing that this is a continuation pattern and it's actually in play, looking good there. The Nifty is showing continuation to the upside rather than the Nikkei rather. This is going to continue pushing to the upside, and especially breaking above this, we are going to see more upside on the Nikkei after this corrective structure. Nifty, straight line to the upside. Look for 1 hour corrections here, but I will not be interested in those 1 hour corrections for any entries to the upside. Let's go into the cryptocurrencies. There's been some movement here on Bitcoin and some of the altcoins. So guys, the view on Bitcoin still has not changed. So the lines that we drew 3 weeks ago, we're looking for this to come around this level. So we are just a few points shy on Bitcoin to get to that level. So we will look for this to make this structure here, this to push up here. Are we going to get Bitcoin to do that around those levels? That will still be a structure like this. Okay, so yesterday, because this was pushing up higher, this could have been a running flat here as follows, the yellow structure, but it is making a clear flat correction. So let's see how this goes when it gets to this level. We're taking it one wave at a time. We are currently at this level. So let's see what we're going to get with that. Ethereum textbook, we said we wanted to come retest this low here, although it did not quite take the low here, but it is still a flat corrective structure, which we'll expect this to bounce back to around these levels. Litecoin, similar to Ethereum, that is a zigzag here. After a move to the upside as follows. We've got an impulsive move, we've got a correction. Do we see now Litecoin pushing up higher for this move? That's what we want to see. XRP, we want to see the same. We've got 3 waves, we've got a 5-wave move to the upside, and we now have this corrective structure. Do we now see XRP push to the upside to around these levels? Dogecoin. So Doge, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So Doge, if Doge completes the move here and we start seeing upside, that will be playing out this structure. That will be playing out this structure around these levels. I'm gonna do ADA, Binance, and Link, and that is all on the cryptocurrencies because the rest of the structures, they're all the same. Right, so here's another one here, ADA. We expect ADA to continue pushing to the upside, but as you can see, this structure will not be over because we started with 1 and a 2. So that means we must end with that 1 and a 2. Whether it makes running, expanding, it doesn't really matter, but we started here with a white. So we should end with white before we resume a move to the upside. Binance pushing up nicely. We've got this one. This actually looks like a continuation pattern for one more down. But let's see how this is going to play out. But if we're looking at the structure for the rest of the moves, for the rest of the cryptos, this has made all the 5 waves here. This is now 3. This could be another 3 here like this before pushing to the upside. So let's keep an eye on that. And lastly, I want to look at Link. Link is very much similar to Litecoin. As you can see, we've got a move to the upside. We've got 3-wave pullback. Now we're looking for this to continue to the upside. Sweet and short, that's what we're looking at for this morning. Don't forget to join us at 11 a.m. for the live technical analysis on the US dollar pairs. Have a great day, everybody. Cheers.